Weather pattern continues to favor a shift toward a wintry-looking weather pattern. The pattern shift itself is what complicates this weather forecast. Changing patterns, particularly in the shoulder seasons, fall and spring, are very difficult to forecast long range, which is the goal here, is to try and look out through the next couple of weeks. Colder weather does continue to get closer and closer. Some of the really cold weather, as in high temperatures below 10 degrees, that sometimes will drop down into the northern plains in November. I don't see too much of that, but I do think it will start getting consistently much colder. And yeah, we're talking rain and snow. The timing is, of course, the real issue, but it looks like a fair chance that we'll finally get a little precipitation into the northern plains, not necessarily enough to end the dry conditions. At the present time this weekend, starting to see low pressure trough getting carved out of the northern Rockies. The warm weather continues down in the characteristically warm places this season. Colder weather, and by that I mean some freezing weather, is dropping down into Montana, and there is some really cold weather, but it's mostly up in northwestern Canada. This configuration, jet stream going southwest to northeast, typically causes storms. Storms form in the lee of the Rockies, move northeast, have moisture to work with, so this is a potential pattern that could bring some precipitation, but the placement of the jet stream at the time the waves move out is critical. Looks like the first one early in the week will bring wet weather. The one second in the week will have a better chance to bring some snow down into places a little bit further south. As we go toward the weekend, we'll start seeing a little bit of ridging along the west coast. That's going to cause some of the coldest weather in the second week of the forecast to retreat a bit, but we will see a continuation of pretty cold weather down in through the northern plains. Of course, when I'm talking cold, that means high temperatures near to below freezing. The cool weather is warmer than that. The frigid weather is where we get some of the 0-degree stuff, and that mostly stays up north during this period. So about the precipitation now. Notice by the end of the period, we've lost that southwest to northeast flow of the jet, so the second week would generally be drier for the central part of the country. This week looks like an opportunity to get some precipitation. It will be snow further north, rain further south, could be both or a mix, or first one then the other in places like northern North Dakota into Minnesota. But there will be chances of measurable rain and of measurable snow from what looks like two weather systems coming out this week. Showers and a few thunder showers in the eastern part of the country. However, with the flow going more out of the northwest, the second week, which puts us into that full week before the Thanksgiving holiday week, the weather of the Great Plains is likely to become considerably drier as the precipitation shifts to the east coast.